Hello, my dear viewers. This is Arunachalam for Sairam Academy. Today is a very special day and also a very special day for the viewers. Today, I have with me none other than Professor A.G. Dhandapani sir, a great stalwart in this field. Many people do not have the opportunity to ask questions to sir, but I have got this opportunity. This program is dedicated to all his students, and we are going to go to this session. Welcome to all, dear viewers of Sairam Academy.
Good afternoon, sir. It is very pleasant to meet you after a long gap, sir. I feel I am so privileged to host an interview with ADG sir for the first time, I guess, in this media.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine. Yes, more than 10 years we met. Go ahead.
I have 25 questions for you. I am going with the first question, sir. How is Dhandapani sir at home? Is he the same professional Dhandapani sir we see, or he is entirely different?
No, it's different. It's since 1975, it's different. It's not now. Between 8 and 4, it's different. 5, 6 to next morning 7, it's different.
Sir, how journey of physiotherapy started in your life? And what do you see the changes that has happened in the field of physiotherapy since your time, sir?
Yeah, it was an accident for me to enter into the physiotherapy. I was a Tamil medium student. When I got the prospectus for a diploma course from Government of Tamil Nadu, I didn't even understood what is my elbow and knee. That was my English knowledge those days. It was an accident. So I was selected for two things, one diploma in chemical engineering in Dhandapani and diploma in physiotherapy at Government General Hospital, Chennai. That time it was Madras. Because of stipend, I took this one for considering my family circumstances. That's all.
How do you see the changes that has happened in physiotherapy field in all these days?
Yeah, it's a long journey. 1970, this is to 2020, nearly 50 years. I have seen, I think I'm seeing fifth generation of physiotherapists.
Great.
One of the pioneer physiotherapy, Mr. Vittal Rao was our teacher. We are fortunate because our school of physiotherapy was second in India, and Mr. Vittal Rao was the one who started that next to KM Bombay. And he underwent MCSP in 1958 in United Kingdom, and he came and started. Well, it was 2 years diploma. In 1969, it was upgraded to 3 years diploma in probably, I think, if I'm right, 1982. It was converted into the university program. Till that time, it was diploma only, and there were about 6 or 7 diploma holders only started the program, and the present GIRM, that is Government Institute of Rehabilitation Medicine, KK Nagar. I still remember that day. One fine morning, the then director, Professor A.S. Shanmugam, called 5 of us, Miss Mary Chidambaram, whose student I am, who learned many things, this thing. Then myself, Mr. C. Pasupati, I happen to be his teacher, and one Miss Chinnamal, and myself. He called and he said, if you people don't ask anything, I can get BSc physiotherapy. Within 24 hours, I can get the order. He was puzzled. And before we could ask anything, those days we can't ask. The days were like that. So we said we will not ask. That means he meant that post, salary, position, everything. So as he said, he brought it. If I'm right, it is 84, I believe, yeah, 84. And that time the academic program started for diploma course, and those students were converted to the BSc Physiotherapy in Madras University. The next year only it was started in CMC Vellore under the same Madras University. So that's how it started. In late 90s, or when the MGR Medical University took over the health programs under there, and they also converted the 3-year degree program into 4 years degree program somewhere in late 90s. That's what I know. I was not involved in that one, so I'm not able to give exact dates. Well, it was a hard days. Diplomas, we saw, we suffered a lot in a sense, and probably the people were those days who were loyal to their mentors, I would say, like Professor Natarajan, Professor A.S. Shanmugam, Professor K. Janardhanan. So our teachers, and in partly I belong to 13th batch of those days. So we were we were loyal to them, or we were showing gratitude to them. So nothing we could ask them or demand them as a right or privilege, whatever it is. There is a fact. So probably it's unfortunate that continued till today, I believe. But though people can demand now, they are not able to succeed somehow. And well, the program from 2 years to 3 years diploma, from 3 years diploma to 3 years BSc program, and from BSc to BPT. You can ask what's the difference between BSc and BPT. Well, that was a big thing. When you any university program under Madras University, when you say undergraduate program, a language is one of the subject or one of the course. You have to undergo English as well as Tamil. So when it becomes a bachelor in physiotherapy, that language was taken. Probably that is the reason I could do this one when I started the program in Utkal University, Odisha, for NIRTAR, National Institute of Rehabilitation, Training and Research. So there was a big havoc those days there in 87, 88, 1987, 88. I could get over that hurdles to make it as a PPT. Probably that is the reason from BS Physiotherapy in Madras University, it has become a PPT under MGR Medical University. I'm sorry, I took a long time to say, but this is my feeling.
Nobody can say all this information except people like you, sir. How Dhandapani sir was in those days when we saw him as a teacher, as an administrator. Like that, we are not able to be as a young crop of teachers or administrators. We have to be little flexible certain areas. But sir was did not give any space for compromise, and sir was always how he was. So how that was possible? Why that is not possible for us?
Well, I grew under a defense personnel, Mr. Vittal Rao. And his disciple, Miss Mary Chidambaram, and his successor, Mr. Narayanan, carried his principles of teaching, running the department. And no wonder that I could, because what I saw, I practiced. Nothing I learned anywhere. I never learned anything from anywhere. What I saw, I was preached. That's all. There is no special effort for this one. And when an opportunity came as a HOD in NIRTAR, it was a new thing for them, for the whole Orissa and Utkal University and the NIRTAR. So as things developed, they had to accept what I say, because I was logical in my presentation of preparing curriculum. Because to say that one example, when many people opposed the back paper system from basics to professional courses, from professional to applied courses, there used to be a break. That was the regulations I suggested those days. And there is a strong opposition for that one. I gave a reason. If there is no back paper or there is no block in that one, a person can go up to final semester failing in anatomy and passing all the applied areas. And when the third party sees the diploma or degree and the marks, they will laugh at the university's program. That's a simple reason. There should be some basic, then only you are eligible to understand. It is understood that you understand pathology. When you have normal anatomy, physiology only, you can understand abdominal anatomy, physiology, that is pathology. When you know strong in your basics only, you can apply in physiotherapy, in orthopedics, neurology, etc., etc. So that is a simple logic that just I applied, and I was fortunate that people were listening, accepting my points.
What do you feel discipline and cleanliness brings about to the profession? Like you are always conscious about discipline and cleanliness.
Any healthcare institute should be neat first. When you are not tidy, when you are not clean, your patient will not have confidence on you. Probably, I think no one like to go to a doctor, to a nursing home which is untidy, uncleanliness, etc. When you expect that should happen to you, why not you think that others also have the right to have that one? That's the basic thing. And I never regretted for that one, because when I happened to be in United Kingdom for a training in 1992, exactly what we did in general hospital they are doing. First 45 minutes, it is the preparation of the department by the physiotherapist, not the so-called attenders. I'm not exaggerating. You have to keep the department ready, because the patient will come at 8:15 first appointment. So you report 7:30, 7:45. You keep the department ready for the patient to receive. Not that after the patient coming here to see. A simple analog I'll give you. When the train is at 7 p.m., as a passenger, you go there. You expect that the door should be open, the fan should be, AC should be on. But those who are responsible for that one, they have to report for the duty before that. It's not my idea, it's our guru's idea. They taught us this.
Mm-hmm. Sir, are you a very spiritual person? If yes, then what spirituality adds to the profession?
It's difficult. I never mix spirituality in the profession as such. I believe in God. I worship. I go to temple. I'm not atheist. I believe in God, and I have a strong belief in that one. That's nothing to do with my professional this thing.
You might have had a lot of friends in your career, sir. It's a long career. So can you name any few of them? If not, can you tell me what is the qualification a person should possess to be friend for Dhandapani, sir?
I know it's very difficult. It's a long-term friends for me in our profession is my 3 classmates. Luckily, this January, one of my close friend had his 50th wedding anniversary, and he invited 3 of us, altogether 4 of us. One Rabi Narayan Das, who came from Odisha, all the way from Odisha to study physiotherapy in Chennai. Then one Mr. Ebenezer, who worked for Tamil Nadu government and went to United Kingdom, came back about 10 years back. And one Mrs. Tulsi Boy, who worked in Madurai Rajaji Hospital. They were my classmates, and we didn't have, of course, Rabidas myself used to have very regular contacts. Abby used to have on and off. Now we are again together. Of course, Tulsi Bai, Rabidas met her only after 35 years. But still, we spent about 3 days together, the same as we were. So I could say the friends. And otherwise, most of others are passing clouds, I would say, not have it deep. Because what I believe was in this, and as, of course, 2 more friends are there. One, Mr. Prabhakaran, who is still working in the United Kingdom. We went there to 1978, still is there. He comes every year, and we behave as we behaved, moved in 1980s. And another one, Mr. Uttusami, he is also in Wales, went in 1978, 79. So these are few people I could consider are long-term friends, because none of us expected anything from other.
Great.
Otherwise, I would say, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. That principle we never had, because we never thought that one, because so and so is there, he will give me something, if I do something he will do that was not there. So that could be the reason I believe that after 50 years also we could be same friends.
Sir, with most of your friends in abroad, almost whoever names you said, all of them in abroad, would you regret not going abroad, staying in?
No, no, very loudly I will say no. Yes, I asked a wish, I had a opportunities came, and somehow destiny was not there for me to leave India, but I have no regrets. Stayed back, showed interest in teaching without any post. Then post came, worked there without family, with the family for some time. Then place of change, came to Ramchandra with the family and other thing we worked. So I never look back, because every time when I shift over from one institute to another one, it was the next level, which was given to me purely on my merits. That's all I would say, without any.
Sir, for us, a good teacher means it is Dhandapani, sir. For Dhandapani, sir, what defines a good teacher?
There is no good teacher. A teacher has to be good. If a teacher is not good, he is not a teacher at all. So a teacher is a teacher, that's all. There is no good and bad teacher. See, the individual's attitude should not define the teacher, right? By profession, is a teacher. His attitude should not give a brand to the profession. I believe that one. So don't mix up the good teacher, bad teacher. That's all. It is the individual's attitude.
Sir, can you name 5 good books which you feel that it should be there in every student's rack, in every physiotherapy student's rack?
It's very difficult. I could, though it is thousands of books have come and you have an access to that one. But to my knowledge, till 1985, or maybe 80, I would say 80, 84, we knew only 5 books, as you said. Principles for Exercise Therapy, Dina Gardner, Tidy's Research, Physiotherapy, cash textbook. Cash textbook of physiotherapy for medical conditions, cash textbook of physiotherapy for surgical conditions. That's all. Only 5 books we knew. I know, because those days we didn't have any access to anything. We used to go to a British library to see the books and journals, but it will be Latin and Greek for us. Don't judge the book by its cover. So it is not the book, what content you need and who has written. Now it is cut and paste.
Exactly.
I don't mind telling very daringly, cut and paste. Most of the JP publications in India, it is cut and paste. And in particular, I would like to comment on about that. There was one author who was published by JP Publishers. If I tell the title, you will find the author name. I don't want to offend anybody. That is, for one group of people, the title was given, and for another group of people, another title was given, but page 1 to the last page, the content is the same. The title differs for 2 different professions, but the content from page 1 to last page, the content was the same. So it's difficult to suggest a book nowadays. I would say that at your level, what a learner should know, that much if they go, be comfortable with that one, go further. It is not the latest book, use the latest idea and go keep going.
Sir, do you think there is a gap between the teachers or the academicians and the clinicians, clinical side? Most of the teachers do not practice nowadays. Do you think they should also practice, or it is the academic knowledge that is sufficient for them to teach physiotherapy?
It's very difficult question, because sometime back or even today, only few institutions have the privilege of having facilities to learn clinical area. within their compass. Otherwise, it is so-called posting, attachment, understanding, MOU, etc., where somebody teaches in the classroom, nobody knows where the learner goes, whether they are allowed to observe, they are allowed to watch, whether they are allowed to touch, nobody knows whether they are supervised or not. Okay, this is real practical what is happening. That's the one reason. Number two, the academicians of late, they are not good in their clinical practice. I don't want to comment on that one because it is basically how you learn, where you learn. Probably this problem may not be there with the academicians who studied, who come out from a reputed institute. I may have letters behind my name, but unless the letters are converted into a meaningful output to the needy person, the letters are waste.
Yes.
I have a strong feeling in that.
Yes. I'm becoming little selfish now, sir. I'm going to ask you, is there any memorable moment our batch shared with you, sir? You have any good memories with us?
Sorry? I was short period for my PGs.
Yes,
I was there only short period. I think PG was started somewhere in 2004 or 5.
yes, sir. We belong
If
to.
I'm right.
We belong to 2005 batch.
I don't remember like that one. My job is over. Once the students go out, my job is over. And I don't follow where they are, what they do.
Okay.
If I come to know that they are doing well, I would comment the people to whom we are telling there is no surprise in them doing well. If they don't do well, really, it's a surprise for me. That's all my connection with the people. It is between 8 to 5, and from academic year 2020 to 21 to 2022-23, that's all. Afterwards, no follow-up.
Whose names comes to your mind when you think about your students, sir? Any particular students?
Sorry? Throughout teacher. There was one student, Badmapriya,
Okay, sir.
right? Who was principal of Meenakshi College of Physiotherapy. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So admired her. She was, I think, first or second batch of BSc Physiotherapy under Madras University, and her answer sheet was so meticulous, and you could see that it's printed. And to the point, I kept her answer sheets more than 25 years.
Great, sir. Great. She will feel.
So, if you could say that is one student who could remember because of her presentation in the examination and the handwriting. Not that others are big, but maybe it doesn't, because you are asking very particular. I am telling this one. Otherwise, all students are same for me.
Most memorable time or moment in your teaching career or an administrative career?
Oh my God! In one, I'm not a good orator, because the point which I want to put it across, I put straight away. That I was I was rude. I was very stubborn. But what I cherished most was, in spite of a diploma holder, diploma in physiotherapy, because of my ex officio post principal, I went in the convocation ceremony procession as a presenter and sat in the dais with all other. I think that is the most cherishable moment for me, because God has given me that opportunity, being a diploma holder, in spite of didn't have basically a post. That's why that day I remember Professor Ayesh Shanmugam, don't ask anything, you accept. Within 24 hours, we will get all we did. My teachers, Mr. Pasupati, Madam Mary Chidambaram, myself, Chinnammal, all agreed for that one. And somehow God has given me the good only, but for me, He has elevated too much more than my so-called qualification. So I think that is the first moment I cherished. The second one, I would like to mention, whether I can mention it or not, because I joined in Ramchandra. First, I think is the second year, I was with the controller of examination. He asked me to set up a question papers. I said, sir, this time I'm not setting it. He said, why? No, sir, my son is appearing in examination. I will not. He said, no, you are taking it. I know you will not show your son anything about it. And your son will not see your table also, even if you keep it on the table. And that is the moment I cherished the most once again.
How much of confidence the control of examination had on our teachers?
Not only he, even the whole management Ramchandra had, even the previous directors they used to have.
Yes.
They may not like me as because I'm a single-minded person.
What do you think about, or how do you comment on prefix of doctor for physiotherapists?
In my personal opinion, I never put doctor. I'm proud to be a physiotherapist rather than, because it's ridiculous. What way? Not legal aspect, not this thing, another thing. In my career, nearly about 35, 36 years, every year I used to talk to the new batch of students and why you joined physiotherapy. 80% of the students used to say, can you tell what could be the answer?
We will be called as doctor after finishing.
No, that is different. After it maybe.
We'll treat patients.
Sir, we tried medicine. We wanted to study medicine. We did not get medicine. We came. So when you think that is higher than you, how can you equate with them? Logically. At this point, they're going to throw stone at me. I don't mind. But it's my humble view.
Most of the students who got educated from you will have the same ideas. They echo the same.
I don't know. And moreover, second over, okay, this one aspect. To my knowledge, there were 3 divorces because of this doctor prefixation. I do not know people knew about it or not. It has happened in North India.
So what are the best qualities you feel administrator should possess?
First of all, it is what you call your sincerity to the job what you're doing. First, job means profession. The next, sincerity should be for your management. First priority for the profession. Second, for the management. Sometimes I may not like what the management says as a professional, but if it is not affecting my profession, I have to accept that. I cannot oppose there. But if it will affect the profession, I must put my word. Whether I succeed or not, I must put my word. This is not the way. The best example I could give would be that when there was some memorandum of understanding between overseas university where I worked, the other university wanted in a different way to train people. That is, those students who are coming from there must be trained to work in projects. But I said, the people who are working here should be given that opportunity to go and get training and come do it. Right? So my management where I work, they agreed, you are right. They agreed that.
Great.
And another one, a good example I could see is in an institute where I worked, they wanted to start PG in sports physiotherapy. I said, I don't have clinical materials. 2-3 years they tried. I know they were not happy about it, my decision, because 4 seats are going at the time. The seats were much demand. I said, because I have no clinical material to teach them.
Sir, do you see a change in student-teacher relationship compared to 30 years before? Now?
It's different. The whole logic difference. because you can't compare what was there 30 years back and now. Because it's my personal again. I was different in 30 years back. I transformed myself when I went from KK Nagar to Nirtar. From when I came to Nirtar to Chennai again, I changed a lot. There are, even that people could not, because my attitude was diluted more than 60-70% when I came to Ramchandra. This is a fact.
So you had
This
become
is a fact.
lenient when you came to Ramchandra, sir?
Much lenient. Much lenient. People we know very well, they know. Okay? So much lenient. So it's very difficult. Even in my last 10 years of career, between 2000 and 2009, when I retired, this month is going to be, I'm completing 11 years of my retirement. So between 2000 and 2005, 2005 and 2009, there was a lot of difference in the attitude of the students. So it's very difficult because their expectations and their environment, it makes a lot of things are, it matters. So it's very difficult to answer this question.
What was the biggest challenge as a physiotherapist you faced, sir, in those days?
Biggest challenge as a physiotherapist I faced. Yes, follow my instructions. Prescription. Prescription by the doctors.
Doctors. Yes.
That was the biggest challenge. Most of the times, I was, but yes, I should say that principle was followed as long as I was in Chennai. When I went to National Institute, the trend little changed because here my position was different, there my position was different. Right? So, but when I came back to my last institute, university, it is mixed. There are few people who could understand, they kept quiet, just physiotherapy, and some people insisted. So the policy is like that. It's not policy of one institute. The whole Indian government policy is like that one.
Yes.
On records, it's a referral system only. We may claim anything, we may put many attractive definitions, but what is the reality? That one should not forget. So that was the real challenge, and because of that, I became unpopular among many medical professors and other things, which affected my personal growth as a physiotherapist. I never regretted that one.
It's great, sir. How one should contribute for the profession, sir? A fresher, I have asked this question to every person I interview. How do you feel a person who has completed physiotherapy today can contribute to the field of physiotherapy?
You are asking how to find out or what they should have?
No, sir. Nowadays, if you see, contribution means arguing and நீங்க உங்க பாஷையில சொல்றதுன்னா கொடி பிடிக்கிறது சொல்லுவீங்கல்ல சார். கொடி பிடிக்கிறது மட்டும் தான் கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்றது physiotherapyங்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கு. How do you feel that a person or a young student should contribute for the physiotherapy field?
நான் young students நான் குறை சொல்லவே மாட்டேன். It is how they are being trained, right? So I always use a particular word. Now off late, what as a teacher, you know the subject. The student may be knowing much more than what you know.
Yes.
Right? But at the same point, that understanding that the conceptualization of their idea could be different than yours. If you could know that one, the same point, you put it in a different way that they are getting something from you, then they will accept you. Otherwise, they will argue. For which you should be able to develop yourself, not by putting certificates, blah, 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 blah. No, it's you have to spend a lot of time analyze. It doesn't come in one day. It doesn't come in one day. You have to really spend time.
Can you name 2 good teachers who impressed you a lot?
Mr. Carison.
Mr.
Mr. Carison
Malison.
was
Yes, sir.
Areesan. Mr. Carison was from whom I learned exercise therapy. But for him, I wouldn't have become a teacher. He is the one. The second one, as a teacher, if you could ask me, many. For administration, I could say it is Mr. Narayanan who gave opportunity, and Ms. Mary Chidambaram who gave me opportunity to put it. So this is what. And another teacher, if you're really asking me, I would like, though I did not be a student with him, I would recall that a teacher from CMC Vellore, Mr. Vijay Kumar, an excellent teacher, Mr. Vijay Kumar. I would consider, though he was not my teacher, he was my contemporary there.
Anybody after your generation, sir? Any good teachers you see nowadays in the current crop of people?
Current people, you are putting me into rough because I have only few people outside who can understand me, but you are putting me in this thing. There are many people are there, but I am too smart to judge them. They are doing good job. Many people are there.
So, do you feel that physiotherapists can be a better entrepreneurs, or already they are good entrepreneurs?
I'm a wrong person for this question. I'm the wrong person. You should know. You should ask why, no?
Sir, I'm not the person to ask you. If you explain,
No, that is an interview. Why? Because I always feel that entrepreneur is nothing but business. In a colloquial way, it's a business, isn't it? Okay. When you do business, when you sell a thing, you should give the same amount. The value should be the same for the exchange.
Yes, sir.
Get my point?
Yes, sir. I got it.
The exchange of money to the goods, the exchange of service to the money should be equal. You are also a physiotherapist. You know whether people are equalizing.
The charges.
You can tell me.
The
Is it equal, the service and the remuneration what they get?
No, sir. It is highly different.
Then in that case, entrepreneurship is not right.